हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू यथार्थ आईएएस। आज के इस लेक्चर में हम लोग डाइवर्सिटी टॉपिक डिस्कस करने वाले हैं। वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ डाइवर्सिटी, हाउ इज डाइवर्सिटी रिलेटेड टू इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट एंड व्हाट आर द वेज इन विच डाइवर्सिटी कैन बी स्ट्रेंथेंड। तो एक इंपॉर्टेंट, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट नाउ। व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट वी विल बी कवरिंग इन दिस पर्टिकुलर लेक्चर? We'll start with what is diversity. We'll understand what is diversity. We will go on and understand how are social divisions different from social differences. We will also understand what are cross-cutting and overlapping differences. We'll go on and understand how these social divisions actually impact politics. Then we'll go on to the Indian side of it. What is diversity for India? When we talk about unity and diversity in our country, what do we mean by that? And then how has been India's struggle for this equality been? And finally, we will talk about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is a pioneer when you talk about equality and the struggle for equality in India. So let's start and let's first understand what is diversity. तो पहले ये समझते हैं कि diversity का मतलब क्या है। तो देखिए, यहाँ पर ये समझिएगा कि diversity is more about differences then about inequality. What do I mean by this when I say diversity is more about differences? When I say there are 10 types of flowers in my garden, this is what I mean when I say they are diverse. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि pink वाला is better than the blue flower or the green flower is better than the yellow one. It just means that there are 10 different kind of flowers in my garden. So when I say diversity, I'm focusing on differences and not on inequality. And that is what it means to be diverse. When you can mark one group off from the other on the basis of the differences that they possess. Let's say वो अलग-अलग religion follow करते हैं, so that would be religious diversity. Let's say they speak different languages, that would be linguistic diversity. So when I say diversity, I am pointing towards collective difference. When you can group one particular set of people based on their differences, then you will say that there is diversity in that country. And per se, diversity is not bad. In fact, diversity is law of the nature. Diversity आपको nature में हर जगह मिलती है, from plant kingdom to animal kingdom to any other thing that exists in this universe. Therefore, diversity means variety. So what I'm trying to tell you here is diversity in itself is not a difficult concept to understand and to practice because it exists naturally. What is diversity? It simply means differences. It simply means there are different set of peoples living in a particular piece of land. It simply means that this collective difference groups them into one particular identity, and diversity leads to variety. Now, so how then these diversity or this difference converts into social division? तो यही हम लोग समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. Some key terms we are going to understand here, so please be careful. I told you, when I talk about diversity, I talk about differences. Then how come these differences convert into divisions? And then what are these cross-cutting and overlapping differences? Let me give you an example. Now, if you go to US, you must have heard about this idea of blacks and whites and the discrimination that existed between them. Let's say, when I talk about races, there were the so-called blacks and there were the so-called whites. Now, this is just a racial difference that existed. In itself, इसमें कोई problem नहीं है that some people belong to one race and some people belong to another. Now, when I say this was a difference, why did it started bothering us? Because it got converted into division. I'll tell you how. Blacks were poor. Blacks were not having access to education. Blacks were not able to find employment. Whereas the white class was powerful. They were educated. They had access to employment opportunities and they were rich. अब यहाँ पर समझिए, इनके बीच में दो डिफरेंस आ गए. वन डिफरेंस वाज दे बिलोंग टू टू रेशियल बैकग्राउंड्स. द अदर डिफरेंस वाज दे वर पुअर, दे वर अनएजुकेटेड इन मोस्ट केसेस, दे वर अनएम्प्लॉयड, दे वर रिच, दे वर पावरफुल, दे हैड एक्सेस टू एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज. अगर आप यहाँ ध्यान से देखें तो हो क्या रहा है, दो सोशल डिफरेंसेस आपस में कंबाइन हो रहे हैं. एक दूसरे पे ओवरलैप हो रहे हैं. यानी नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन आई थिंक अबाउट अ ब्लैक, आई वुड थिंक अबाउट समबडी हु इज नॉट हैविंग इनफ एजुकेशन, is not employed, is poor, whereas white would be somebody who is educated, somebody who has enough employment, and somebody who has money. So if you notice what is happening here, two social differences are combining and they are leading to social division. Please understand, differences were okay, differences were a law of nature, but when you combine these differences, it led to social divisions. Now this is what I mean when I say cross-cutting and overlapping differences. Now अभी जो मैंने आपको समझाया, one social difference overlapping on the other is what is known as overlapping difference. Now overlapping difference is very difficult to tackle. Why? Because it leads to social divisions. It leads to divisions between blacks and it led to divisions between black and white. But when you talk about cross-cutting differences, the accommodation becomes easier. I'll tell you how. Let's say there is a country A, right, where people practice two set of religions. Some people practice X religion, some people practice Y religion. So there is a difference. Some people are practicing X, some people are practicing Y. That's okay. Now, some among these X are poor. Some people practicing X religion are poor. Some of them are rich. Similarly, people practicing Y religion, some of them are rich and some of them are poor. Now, if you look at it, these poor are different from these rich and these rich are different from these poor. If you look, they are cross-cutting the differences. What was the first difference? They were practicing two different religions. But what is the second difference? Some of them are poor, some of them are rich. अगर आपने यहाँ ध्यान दिया तो the differences are not overlapping each other. Rather, the differences are cutting each other. They are cross-cutting each other. और इसीलिए इसे कहा जाता है cross-cutting differences. यानी अगर आप X religion follow कर रहे हैं, equal chances हैं आप अमीर भी हो सकते हैं, गरीब भी हो सकते हैं. If you are following Y religion, you can be rich, you can be poor. But this was not the case when we talked about blacks and whites. So understand, cross-cutting differences को accommodate करना आसान होता है क्योंकि वो social divisions में easily convert नहीं होते. But overlapping differences can easily convert into social divisions and that's where the problem lies. तो आपको यहाँ पर क्या क्या समझना था? Two social differences coming together will lead to social divisions. Social divisions is what we talk about when we talk about overlapping differences, and it is easier to accommodate cross-cutting differences. So please take note of that. Now, since we have understood what are social divisions, the next question is, ये social divisions politics को impact करते हैं क्या? और करते हैं तो कैसे करते हैं? So see, these social divisions might impact politics positively and might impact negatively. अब ये किस बात पर डिपेंड करेगा कि ये इम्पैक्ट नेगेटिव है या पॉजिटिव है? इट वुड डिपेंड ऑन 3 फैक्टर्स. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिएगा. These 3 factors will determine whether the social divisions are impacting politics negatively or positively. सबसे पहला, people's perception of their identities. This is very very important. एक देश के लोग अपनी आइडेंटिटी क्या सिंगुलर मानते हैं? Let's say I follow A religion and practice Y profession. Okay, I follow religion A and practice profession Y. Somebody practices religion B and again practices profession Y, belongs to profession Y. अब मैं अपनी आइडेंटिटी को A as a professional identify करती हूँ, as a religious person identify करती हूँ या दोनों करती हूँ. प्रॉब्लम तब आती है जब लोग अपनी आइडेंटिटी को बहुत ही इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक या बहुत ही सिंगुलर बना लेते हैं. यानी कि माई आइडेंटिटी इज जस्ट माई रिलीजन, माई आइडेंटिटी इज नॉट माई प्रोफेशन और माई जेंडर. जब आप अपनी आइडेंटिटी को मल्टीपल फोरम्स में ओपन रखते हैं तो अकोमोडेशन आसान हो जाता है. आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जाम्पल. अगर कोई एक रिलीजन की औरतें हैं, लेट्स से ए रिलीजन की विमेन है एंड बी रिलीजन की विमेन है, what is common between them? They are women. They belong to one particular gender. They might belong to different religious practices, but they belong to same gender. Now, if they think of themselves as somebody who is a woman practicing religion A, it becomes easier to bring them together. But when they are very strict about their identity, that no, my identity is all about my religion, तब इन सोशल डिविजन्स को अकोमोडेट करना मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो सबसे पहले आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि हाउ आर पीपल परसेप्टिव ऑफ देयर आइडेंटिटीज, हाउ डू दे आइडेंटिफाई देमसेल्फ. द मोर मल्टीपल आइडेंटिटीज दे बिलीव इन, the easier it is to accommodate diversity, and the lesser is the negative impact on the politics of the country. Now, representation of a community by a political leader. देखिए इससे भी बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. If, of course, politics is about power, and somehow the leader will try to accommodate or try to get as much powerful as possible. और इसमें आप क्या यूज करते हैं? इस डाइवर्सिटी की पॉलिटिक्स का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. This is what I mean when I say how is the political leader representing the community. किस तरह की डिमांड्स वो सामने रख रहे हैं, किस तरह से उन डिमांड्स को रखा जा रहा है, क्या वायलेंट प्रैक्टिसेस का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, is the leader being very aggressive in approach, is the leader being very unrealistic in demands. So community को जो leaders represent कर रहे हैं उनकी voice कैसी है, that would also impact the politics of the country. And finally, what is the reaction of the government? अगर government genuine demands को ignore कर रही है, if government is not accommodating the genuine demands of the people from that particular community, the idea or the impact to the politics can be very, very dangerous. So, to summarize, how would social divisions impact politics would depend on how people perceive their identity. How do the leaders of that particular community put forward their demand, and how does the government respond to it? If all three of them are in the positive side, then you will see the impact on politics will be positive. Why? Because government will accommodate the demands, community leaders will put forward better demands, and people will have associations with multiple identities. And when you do that, the result is going to be positive. तो आपको यहाँ पर क्या याद रखना है? How do social divisions affect politics? This will be dependent on three factors. One, how do people perceive their identity? Two, how are the leaders representative? How do they present their views? And finally, how does the government respond to that? अब हम लोग ये तीन terms समझते हैं. Very, very important. Please take note of this. Mains में इस पे question भी बन सकता है. Please be careful that you know these terms. कौन से terms हैं? Prejudice, stereotype and discrimination. इनके बीच के अंतर को समझेंगे and we'll understand it with a very, very simple example of, let's say, gender. Now, when I talk about stereotypes, stereotypes are kind of assumptions. When I say stereotype, these are assumptions. When you assume something in your head, let's say there's a person by the name Sam. Now, Sam believes in an assumption. Sam is the CEO of a company. Okay, Sam एक company के CEO है और इनका ये assumption है that women are kind. Okay, and women are not rational thinkers. Women can't think rationally. Okay, they are irrational thinkers. Now, please note, he is generalizing. This is what you do when you stereotype. You come up with certain assumptions in your head without any logical backing to it. It is simply an assumption, a standardization that is set in your head that you believe to be true. You believe, what did Sam believe? That women are kind and women are irrational thinkers. Now, how is stereotype different from prejudice? See, stereotypes can be positive, can be negative. Stereotypes can be women are beautiful, women are kind, women are loving, women are forgiving, and it can be women are irrational thinkers, women can't take strong decisions, or women are not active workers, etc. But prejudices come with negative associations. जब आप prejudice की बात करते हैं, prejudice has to be essentially negative and it gives you a negative attitude towards that person. अब Sam जो CEO है, सिंस इनके मन में इतने सारे स्टीरियोटाइप्स हैं, इनका एटीट्यूड ये है कि विमेन जो ना वो irrationally think सोचती हैं. They should not be bosses. They should not lead the organization. And women are better to be suited to sit at home. They should be homemakers. This is the stereotype, the attitude that Sam as a CEO carries towards women. तो यहाँ तक बात समझ में आई आपको? When I say stereotype, these are standardizations. These are assumptions that you make in your head because somebody belongs to a particular group. So he believes that women are kind, women are irrational thinkers. But prejudice would be negative attitude again towards that group due to your stereotypes. So prejudice has to be negative. Stereotypes can be positive, can be negative. And finally, when you start acting on these prejudices, when it shows up in your action, याद रखिएगा, discrimination is nothing but prejudice in action. जब prejudice action में आने लगती है, that becomes discrimination. So when Sam got 2 names for promotion, one was Reena and other was Deepak. He thought that Deepak should be promoted and not Reena simply because Reena was a woman and he had this prejudice that women are not fit to be bosses. Now you understand here, he actually discriminated between Reena and Deepak on the basis of their gender. This is what is the connection between stereotype, prejudices and what you call as discrimination. So discrimination is nothing but prejudice in action. When you start acting on your prejudices and it starts to reflect in your behavior, then that is known as discrimination. So this is what the relationship goes. How do I categorize and label a person? Just like Sam did. How do you feel? What are your attitude? And how do you act on that? That becomes discrimination. Take note, stereotype, prejudices and discrimination. Now very quickly, let us look at what are the types of diversities that exist in India. India में किस-किस तरीके की diversities exist करती हैं, एक बार quickly देख लेते हैं. Religious diversity, of course, India is a plural society. बहुत सारे religions यहाँ practice किए जाते हैं. From Hinduism, Christianity, Jainism, you would have all kind of religious diversity in our country. Then caste diversity, of course, starting from the Varna Dharma, the functional division, to it being hereditary. आप बहुत सारा caste diversity भी इंडिया में देखते हैं, whether you like it or not. Even in religious diversity, you have n number of sects. So even in Hinduism, you will see so many sects. Even in Islam, you would see so many sects. So definitely there exists a religious diversity. There exists a caste diversity. There exists linguistic diversity. From Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala down south, you see so many languages. In terms of even state differences, you see so many languages being spoken. Linguistic diversity definitely exists in India. Cultural diversity, you see variety in food, you see variety in dance forms, you see variety in the festivals celebrated. Definitely cultural diversity from food to cuisine to dress to the festivals that we celebrate. There exists a lot of cultural diversity in India. So if you understand all this in itself is not bad. Having many religions is not bad. Having caste diversity is not bad. Having linguistic diversity is not bad. And definitely having cultural diversity is not bad as well. Even geographical diversity. If you see, we have deserts, then you have lakes, then you have rivers, mountains, then you have all kinds of geographical features in our country. So definitely on the test of diversity, India stands on number 1 due to all these diversities being present. But here is the big question. Now, before we go on to understand how do we accommodate this diversity and how do you talk about the concept of unity in diversity, let's take up a case study and let's understand the idea of diversity with the example of 2 Indian states. One is Ladakh and one is Kerala. Let us see how are they different. Ladakh is a desert. You see very little agriculture is possible there. There's hardly any rain. Most of the time, Ladakh is covered with snow. Even for drinking water, people have to depend on melting the snow that melts during the summer months. And people, you would see, would keep sheep, would keep goats. They would have pashmina wools, which is a prized possession that is a major source of income for the people living in this particular area. People would eat meat, they would have milk products because that is what is available. Then you would also see every family will have some goats and some cows. Why? Because that is the source of revenue for the Ladakhan economy. The place also had traders all around the world, even though it was not very favorable in terms of climatic conditions. The geographical location is such that you would always need this belt to cross over. And that's why it was a part of the trade route. There were caravans of textiles, of spices, raw silk and carpets that moved through this area. So historically, there was an influence of the traders that came to this area. Now, Buddhism came to Tibet via Ladakh. This is important. It is important. That is the reason Ladakh is also called Little Tibet. You would see the influence of Buddhism in Ladakh as well due to the geographical proximity. Then Islam was introduced because there were traders that came to this area. That's why you'll also find Muslim population here. And that is why you'll also find a lot of cultural diversity. You would see very rich oral traditions, songs, poems that are quite regional to this particular area. You would also see that the local version of the Tibetan epic, which is called the Kesar Saga, is performed by Muslims as well as Buddhists. So what was the idea? If you look at Ladakh, different geography, different history, look at how the economy is shaped, look at how it brings about religious diversity, and look at how it brings about cultural diversity. Moving on, let's talk about Kerala now. Let's talk about God's own country, Kerala. Now, if you look at Kerala, southwest corner of India mein hai, you would see sea on one side, hills on the other, very picturesque, beautiful location. Has been very, very important. बहुत सारी spices यहाँ पर cultivate होती थी from pepper, cloves, cardamom, and इसीलिए it was also a very attractive destination for tourists. And that's why you see so many traders entered this area and brought about their diversity to the region. Jewish, Arab traders, that is why you would see Islam being practiced here, you would see Christianity, you would see influences of Buddhism, and that's why you would see Christianity as well. So many Arab traders came here, settled down, actually wrote travelogues and influenced the place in terms of religion practice, in terms of culture practiced. Then, of course, the sea route to India discovered by Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese explorer. He was the first one to come and land in this particular place. And that again tells you the reason why the place is so diverse in terms of religion and culture. Now that is why, as I said, you would see Judaism being practiced, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism and Buddhism. Now you would see also a lot of things being grown here from, as I said, spices to rice. You would see people eating fish to vegetables. What is the point? Why are we talking about Ladakh and Kerala here? If you understand the diversity of a particular place is not shaped only by its geography. Geography is important, but so is the history of the place. So is the cultural influences that that place had. Ladakh is Ladakh due to the reasons that we mentioned. Kerala is Kerala due to the reasons that we mentioned. So diversity is coming together of so many aspects due to history, geography, economy of a particular region, and how it has shaped over the years would be reflective in the present scenario of that particular place. So this was a case study so that we understand how diversity shapes up for a particular place. With so much in store for India, with so much of diversity, we talked about religious diversity, linguistic diversity, we talked about cultural diversity. We also need to talk about unity in diversity because that is what we have been preaching, we have been talking. India के context में ये बहुत बार कहा जाता है that we are a country which believes in unity in diversity. If you look, these pictures denote to same. But what are these factors that actually cause this unity? So basically हम लोग ये discuss करेंगे कि वो कौन-कौन से factors हैं जिसकी वजह से हम इंडिया को as a united country देख पाते हैं. And that is why we are able to talk about the concept of unity in diversity. इसके बाद हम ये भी देखेंगे कि वो कौन-कौन से factors हैं जो इस unity in diversity को threaten करते हैं. But let us first understand factors which lead to unity amidst diversity in India. तो वो कौन-कौन से factors हैं जिनकी वजह से हम इंडिया में unity in diversity की बात भी कर पाते हैं. सबसे पहला, वी हैव अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल आइडेंटिटी. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. पूरे भारत के लिए, पूरे इंडिया के लिए सेम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है. आप राजस्थान में चले जाएं तो वहां भी एप्लीकेबल है, गुजरात में चले जाएंगे तो वहां भी एप्लीकेबल है. सेम पैटर्न ऑफ गवर्नमेंट हम लोग फॉलो करते हैं जिससे देश को यूनिफॉर्मिटी मिलती है. सो इफ यू गो एंड अंडरस्टैंड द 3 levels ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, there would be a central government, there would be a state government, and there would be a local self government, which would be same for every state in our country. तो ये जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल आइडेंटिटी है, इससे पूरे देश में यूनिफॉर्मिटी एग्जिस्ट करती है. नाउ दिस ऑल्सो मीन्स that we don't follow the concept of dual citizenship, which is very important here. So if you talk about Indian citizenship, you are a citizen of India and a resident of the state that you live in. So you are not a citizen of India and Rajasthan. You are a citizen of India and a resident of Rajasthan. What I'm trying to tell you here is, जब आप एक ही कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से बंधे हुए हैं, you have a same constitutional identity that ensures that you are united. एक सबसे बड़ा कारण ऑफ दिस यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी इज आवर कॉमन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल आइडेंटिटी. देन रिलीजियस को एग्जिस्टेंस. अभी हमने डिस्कस किया भारत में बहुत सारे रिलीजन्स हैं, बहुत सारी रिलीजियस डाइवर्सिटी एग्जिस्ट करती है. लेकिन रिमेंबर, वी आर द बिलीवर्स ऑफ रिलीजियस को एग्जिस्टेंस. इसीलिए वी फॉलो द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सेक्युलरिज्म. तो इंडिया में कोई भी, प्लीज नोट दिस वर्ड, कोई भी स्टेट रिलीजन नहीं है. इज देयर द रिलीजन ऑफ द स्टेट? क्या हमारे देश का कोई रिलीजन है? नहीं. पर क्या इस देश के लोग कोई भी रिलीजन फॉलो कर सकते हैं? यस. सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ दे फॉलोइंग द रिलीजन दैट दे वांट टू, देयर इज एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी. somebody wants to be an atheist, there is an absolute liberty. But when you talk about state has no religion of its own. This is very important. We believe in the idea of religious coexistence supported by secularism. Important here. Now, interstate mobility की बात कर लेते हैं यहाँ पर. Article 19 Clause 1 Sub Clause D कहता है कि आप भारत में कहीं भी मूव कर सकते हैं. If you are living in Rajasthan, you want to work in Gujarat, you can do it. If you are living in Gujarat, next year you want to work in Maharashtra, you can go and settle there. We believe in the idea of interstate mobility. इससे भी unity in diversity enhance होती है because आपकी regional identity restricted नहीं है. हम देखते हैं कितने सारे लोग work purposes से दूसरे states में जाते हैं, वहाँ assimilate होते हैं and they become a part of that diversity. So interstate mobility under 19 Clause 1 Subclause D is a very big factor in ensuring diversity in India. Then economic integration. This is also very important. इसमें अभी सबसे बड़ा रोल प्ले किया है GST ने. One nation, one tax, right? So you have the same tax structure being implemented throughout the country. तो इकोनॉमिकली भी जो डिफरेंसेस थे वो रूल आउट हो गए हैं. You see so many laws which are similar in terms of economy. Trade and commerce permitted है across regions. That promotes economic integration. रॉ मटेरियल किसी स्टेट से आता है, फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट कहीं और बनता है, एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट के डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स अलग अलग स्टेट्स में बनते हैं एंड असिमुलेट कहीं और होते हैं. कहने का मतलब है हम इकोनॉमिकली भी इंटीग्रेटेड हैं. दैट ऑल्सो इंश्योर्स डाइवर्सिटी इन इंडिया. देन of course there are so many soft factors that are responsible. Cinema connects us, cricket connects us, love for food connects us. So many fairs and festivals across religion, people attend these fairs and festivals. This soft aspect must not be ignored क्योंकि जितने important ये सारे factors हैं, ये soft aspects भी हैं. As I said fairs, as I said festivals, as I said cricket, cinema, ये सब एक binding force की तरह exist करते हैं देश में. So if I have to conclude, what are the factors that cause this diversity, make unity in India? Constitutional identity, the idea of religious coexistence, the following of secularism in India, the idea of interstate mobility, also economic integration, and finally fairs and festivals. तो हमने काफ़ी अच्छी बातें कर ली. We discussed that yes, India is a unity in diversity believer country. But let's get to some fact check also. Of course, there are factors that threaten this unity. They exist and they are for real. So let us discuss what are those factors which act as a threat to this diversity that we cherish, this unity in diversity concept that we absolutely love, and what can be done in order to nullify its impact or kind of reduce these factors to some extent. First is regionalism. Now this is a big problem. तो होता क्या है, जब आप अपनी आइडेंटिटी को बहुत ज़्यादा रीजन स्पेसिफिक मानने लगते हैं, सो यू call yourself more belonging to a particular region than to the entire nation. When this idea gets very, very strong, what happens is your regional identity tends to overtake your national identity. And this is what regionalism is. तो यहाँ से फिर demand for separate states, demand for separatist tendencies, ये सारी emerge होने लगती हैं due to excessive focus और एक्सेसिव रीजनल बायस. इसको कहते हैं रीजनल बायस, राइट. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज रीजनलिज्म. ये एक थ्रेट है ऑब्वियसली, बिकॉज जो आपने यूनिटी अचीव की है वो कहीं ना कहीं थ्रेटन होती है ड्यू टू दिस रीजनल सेंटिमेंट और रीजनल आइडेंटिटीज बीइंग स्ट्रॉन्गर देन नेशनल आइडेंटिटीज. डिवाइसिव पॉलिटिक्स, याद करिए मैंने आपको कहा था ये सोशल डिविजन्स कैसे इम्पैक्ट दिखाएंगे पॉलिटिक्स में, ये इस बात पे डिपेंड करेगा कि कम्युनिटी लीडर्स डिमांड किस तरीके से रख रहे हैं. कहीं हेट की राजनीति तो नहीं हो रही, कहीं अपना वोट बैंक इकट्ठा करने के लिए हेट स्पीचेस, डिवाइसिव स्पीचेस, लोगों को बांटने वाली बातें तो नहीं की जा रही. इफ दैट इज हैपनिंग, दैट बिकम्स अ थ्रेट टू द यूनिटी ऑफ द कंट्री, बिकॉज पीपल गेट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड, दे टेंड टू गेट इम्पैक्टेड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डिवाइसिव पॉलिटिक्स. देन डेवलपमेंट इम्बैलेंस. देखिए ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. अगर किसी रीजन का सोशो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट बाकी कंट्री के सोशो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट से बहुत स्लो हो रहा है ड्यू टू वेरियस फैक्टर्स, तो एक सेंस ऑफ आइसोलेशन डेवलप हो जाता है. इस इम्बैलेंस की वजह से कई बार ये रीजन्स अपने आप को मेन स्ट्रीम लैंड से या बाकी देश से कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते, एंड दे टेंड टू बिलीव कि ये जो हमारा सोशो इकोनॉमिक इम्बैलेंस है ये तभी सही होगा जब हम सेपरेट आइडेंटिटी क्रिएट कर लेंगे अपनी, और यहीं से सेपरेट स्टेट की डिमांड स्टार्ट हो जाती है और यहीं से यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी को खतरा पहुंचता है. सो डेवलपमेंट इम्बैलेंस इज ऑल्सो अ बिग प्रॉब्लम, स्पेसिफिकली व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी. जोग्राफिकल आइसोलेशन. टेक फॉर एग्जाम्पल नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया, वो नैरो सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर से चिकन नेक से कनेक्टेड है, तो ऑब्वियसली उतना एक्सेसिबल नहीं है इन टर्म्स ऑफ पीपल गोइंग देयर, इन टर्म्स ऑफ इकोनॉमिक अपॉर्चुनिटीज रीचिंग देयर. इसीलिए आप देखते हैं इस जोग्राफिकल आइसोलेशन की वजह से ही यू वुड सी इकोनॉमिक बैकवर्डनेस. और देखिए फॉर मोस्ट प्रॉब्लम्स इन द वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमी इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल. मोर देन पॉलिटी, दुनिया की ज़्यादातर प्रॉब्लम्स इकोनॉमिक इन नेचर होती हैं. तो क्योंकि ये जोग्राफिकली आइसोलेटेड है, यहाँ पर आप इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम्स देखते हैं, और क्योंकि यहाँ पर आप इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम्स देखते हैं, दैट वुड इन टर्न रिजल्ट्स इन डिमांड फॉर सेपरेटिज्म. तो वो जो आपने इतनी मुश्किल से यूनिटी प्रिजर्व की थी वो कहीं ना कहीं फिर से क्या हो जाती है, थ्रेटन हो जाती है. देन इंटरस्टेट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. कावेरी रिवर वाटर डिस्प्यूट, तमिलनाडु कर्नाटका. आप देखिए दैट इज अ वेरी क्लासिक एग्जांपल ऑफ इंटरस्टेट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, जब रिवर वाटर शेयरिंग से रिलेटेड, बॉर्डर्स से रिलेटेड, लैंड से रिलेटेड दो स्टेट्स के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होती है, दैट इज नोन एज इंटर-स्टेट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स. वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन है, दैट्स द बिगेस्ट रीजन ऑफ व्हाई यू सी इंडियन यूनिटी इज थ्रेटेंड. देन inter-religious conflicts, a big problem due to divisive politics, due to one group being pitched against the other. You would see people believing that their religion is superior to the religion that the other person is following. Basically जब communal tendencies हावी हो जाती हैं तब भी इस इंडियन यूनिटी के पूरे सिनारियो पे क्वेश्चन मार्क लग जाता है. मैंने आपसे कहा ये तब होगा जब लोग अपनी आइडेंटिटी को बहुत ज़्यादा सिंगुलर मानने लगेंगे. द मोर मल्टीपल आइडेंटिटीज यू बिलीव इन, द मोर ईजियर इट इज़ टू अकोमोडेट डाइवर्सिटी. तो अगर अभी हमें समराइज करना हो व्हाट आर द थ्रेट्स दैट दिस यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी कॉन्सेप्ट फेसेस इन इंडिया, द आंसर वुड बी रीजनल टेंडेंसीज, रीजनलिज्म, divisive politics, caste-based politics, religion-based politics, hate speeches, development imbalance, some scaling up in socioeconomic parameters, some scaling down in socioeconomic parameters, geographical isolation जिसकी वजह से development नहीं पहुंच पाता यहाँ पर, interstate conflicts जिसकी वजह से you see one state pitching against the other on rivers, on borders, etc. And finally, inter-religious conflicts. Communalism is a big threat to India's unity. Okay, so now you must be wondering कि हम differences, divisions, diversity से बात करते करते ये equality पे कैसे आ गए? See, all this is connected. I'll tell you how. So when I talk about differences and when we go about to understand divisions, कहीं ना कहीं इन differences और divisions की वजह से ही inequality होती है. Look at this. I said differences can lead to divisions. Divisions can lead to discrimination. And whenever you talk about discrimination, it cannot go along with equality. Discrimination है तो equality तो हो ही नहीं सकती. ये सबसे बड़ी problem है. Since there is discrimination, sure there is lack of equality. Sure there is absence of equality. Now look at this. When you say there is inequality, this has been the biggest problem for India as well. और वही हम अभी discuss करेंगे. देखिए जब हम अपनी freedom struggle का पूरा बात करते हैं, that was not the only struggle that our country faced. There were different kinds of inequalities that existed in our country. And you know this, from caste-based discrimination to religious-based discrimination to gender inequality to economic backwardness, there were so many problems that existed in our country. And that is why we needed a constitutional justice to be done. Now, what is this constitutional justice? तो अभी तक जो भी inequalities exist कर रही थी, उनको correct करने के लिए we had to insert certain provisions in the constitution. हमें constitution में कुछ ऐसे provisions डालने की ज़रूरत थी, जिससे जो अभी तक ये सारी problems रही हैं, इनको undo किया जा सके, इनको correct किया जा सके, इनको सुधारा जा सके. And that is why we are going to talk about what was this constitutional justice और इस constitutional justice को कैसे achieve किया गया अभी बात करते हैं. This is the preamble of our country. हमें क्या समझना है कि constitutional justice किया गया. Constitutional justice का मतलब क्या है? अभी तक जितनी भी problems थी उनको सही करने के लिए constitution में provisions डाले गए ताकि justice ensure किया जा सके. अब the big question is, what was this constitutional justice? Look at the preamble. आपको preamble में भी दिखेगा ये constitutional justice. You see the word equality of status and of opportunity. Constitution में कहा गया that इस देश के सारे लोग equal हैं. This is constitutional justice. The idea of secularism, आप कोई सा भी religion follow कर सकते हैं. This was constitutional justice. And of course, as I said, secularism बहुत ज़रूरी है constitutional justice में. Secularism को समझना क्यों? Because remember I told you, हमें क्या दिया गया? Freedom of religion. आप कोई भी religion practice, propagate कर सकते हैं. And definitely you can also choose to be an atheist. पर इस देश का कोई भी state religion नहीं है. This is constitutional justice. Right to equality, 14 to 18, जहाँ हर तरीके की equality को जगह दी गई. This is constitutional justice. देखिए ये दोनों पॉजिटिव स्टेप्स हैं. सेक्युलरिज्म डाला गया, राइट टू इक्वालिटी डाला गया, बट अभी तक जो गलत हो रहा था उसको सही करने के लिए भी प्रोविजंस डालना जरूरी था कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. तभी आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जस्टिस की बात कर सकते थे. वन ऑफ देम was abolition of untouchability. डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का सबसे भयावह रूप, the worst face of discrimination, जहां people were treated as untouchables. इसको करेक्ट करने के लिए हमने क्या डाला? आर्टिकल 17, जहां क्लियरली बोला गया कि आप अनटचेबिलिटी प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर सकते. इट वुड बी एन ऑफेंस, जिसके लिए बाकायदा पनिशमेंट है इफ यू प्रैक्टिस अनटचेबिलिटी. आपने क्या करा? अभी तक की जो रॉन्ग डूइंग्स थी, जो गलतियां थी, उसको सही करने के लिए यू केम अप विथ अबोलिशन ऑफ अनटचेबिलिटी, आर्टिकल 17. अफर्मेटिव एक्शन, इसको समझ लेते हैं. नाउ सी, आई टोल्ड यू देयर वर वेरियस कम्युनिटीज इन इंडिया who were discriminated against. Okay, they were discriminated. they were not treated fairly, they did not got their due, right, and they were not able to move up the ladder because बहुत सारे उनके बीच में hurdles exist करते थे. अब इसको करेक्ट करने के लिए हमें कुछ पॉजिटिव स्टेप लेने थे. बेसिकली इस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को अंडू करने के लिए कोई पॉजिटिव डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करने की जरूरत थी, विच इज कॉल्ड पॉजिटिव डिस्क्रिमिनेशन या फिर अफर्मेटिव एक्शन. अफर्मेटिव एक्शन मतलब पॉजिटिव एक्शन. व्हाट एम आई हिंटिंग एट? आई एम हिंटिंग एट रिजर्वेशन. अब कुछ लोग कहेंगे कि रिजर्वेशन में तो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हो रहा है मैम, कुछ को आप रिजर्व सीट्स दे रहे हैं, सम सेक्शंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी को. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज पॉजिटिव डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है बट इट इज पॉजिटिव इन नेचर. क्यों? क्योंकि वो पास्ट की रॉन्ग डूइंग्स को करेक्ट करने के लिए लाया गया है. सो रिमेंबर, अफर्मेटिव एक्शन, abolition of untouchability, secularism and right to equality, ये कुछ तरीके हैं जिससे भारत के संविधान ने एग्जिस्टिंग डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को करेक्ट करने और इक्वालिटी के पाथ पर मूव करने की कोशिश की. All these terms you can write when you are writing an answer on constitutional justice, on how India moved towards the path of equality, etc. ये terms याद रखिएगा. इसी तरीके के key terms आपको यूज करने हैं. Abolition of untouchability, Article 17, secularism, affirmative action, positive discrimination, and right to equality. Now, it's impossible that we don't talk about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar here. Given in your NCERT is very, very important to know some facts about him, because when we talk about abolition of untouchability or affirmative action, a lot of credit goes to this man, who is also called the main architect of the Indian Constitution, a legal expert, a philosopher, a writer, so much in just one. So what are the things that we know about him and should know about him? He's called the father of the Indian Constitution. He was a Dalit right activist. जो हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली थी उसकी ड्राफ्टिंग कमिटी के चेयरपर्सन थे. ये क्वेश्चन भी पूछा जाता है that who was the chairman of the drafting committee. Later in his life, not very happy with the Hindu practices, he embraced Buddhism. And you must also know, NCERT talks about these works of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So you must know about these works. There can be a question on this. Mook Nayak, which was a weekly publication. Janta, again a weekly publication. A very, very important book, The Annihilation of Caste. And The Untouchables, the Buddha or Karl Marx. These are few names that you must know. You can even use them while you are writing your essays, or you might see them pop up as a prelims question. In 1990, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was bestowed with Bharat Ratna. Now, what are the things that you need to remember? Father of the Indian Constitution, Dalit right activist. Remember the names. He called Article 32 as the heart and soul of the Indian Constitution. जो right to constitutional remedies है, उसके लिए डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर ने कहा था that this is the heart and soul of the